Hi everyone, it's Emma again, just in relation to consumer marketing psychology, and I'm going to talk today about the case study I spoke about already in the webinar, which is all about Harley Davidson and how Harley Davidson have used consumer psychology. And basically that sounds really fancy, but really how they've understood their customers over the years and how that has helped them to really supercharge their business, and how it increases their revenue and it increases how positive people think about their brand. And there's so much positivity around the fact that they understand their customers, so they're really speaking to the core, to the emotions of who their customers are. So you can see here some Harley Davidson, typical Harley Davidson kind of paraphernalia, the guys hanging out at the weekend, so it's very powerful images. The brand has been around a long time, and as you can see here, the Hogs and his Harley owners group. So basically they have their own group. So that kind of ties into the whole idea of, kind of having that tribe following you. So they all kind of connect with each other. They go away for weekends and they do a lot of group activities. People that are within Hogs, and you can join that it's relatively inexpensive. You can see here Harley captures 23% of all US bike sales and 50% of the heavyweight motorcycle market segment. And, it's just going from strength to strength. And you have to ask yourself the question why that is. Now, I know they're a really, really big company, but the thing is, even big companies fall. So they've got to be innovative. They've got to be thinking of their customers, and that's what they've done. So back in the 80s, actually, they had quite a lot of difficulty, and it looked at one point they would have to close shop. But some of the top people in Harley at the time, they decided to go back and look at the customer and see what they wanted, and to look at their buying behaviour. So buying behaviour is really, really important to understand. So what influences people? Why do they buy certain items and not others? And that's obviously what this whole course is about. So again, this is a really, really good example, and maybe you can learn some things from Harley Davidson and what they've done. So how do they get to know about their customers? I've spoken about this already in terms of Google Analytics, your analytics within Facebook, to go and ask people to do some market research and find out what they think and how they feel. So find out how your customers think and how they feel. And they also want to know why Harley Davidson buyers are so loyal. So if you go back to the Harley owners group, that's a massive component of Harley Davidson itself, because each person within the Harley owners group is a very good brand advocate. They're always buying new things, clothes, paraphernalia, new bike, upgrading different parts for the bike, and they're very loyal. Because they're part of that tribe, they feel that sense of belonging. So they're always speaking very positively about Harley and drawing in more buyers as well. So that's a really, really important aspect of Harley Davidson. So how can you do that? You can create Facebook groups. Perhaps you could do meetups as well. Perhaps, again, it depends on your product or your service. But start to think about outside the box. What could you do with your business that could create that tribe effect? In other words, very, very, very loyal customers who will speak about your business and your brand in a very positive manner, and therefore bring in others for you, bring in other customers for you. And that's the way to do business, really. So basically, the Harley top management had a great priority on understanding the customers, and that's why you're doing this course, and that's the good thing. It's really important that you go through all the exercises. I know some of them are quite long, and I need to actually chunk them down. So that's what I'm doing now. So you are actually all going to be grandfathered into the next 6-week course, and you'll get this more in depth and kind of smaller chunks, which will be more easy to digest. Okay, so who's the typical customer? The average Harley customer is a 46-year-old husband with a median household income of $78,000. And now as well, to look at that, more than 10% of Harley purchases are made by women. So this is like an emerging market. So traditionally, you've got the man, now you've got women coming into that marketplace as well. And this is where Harley need to understand, how can they change their marketing to communicate better to women? What sort of products are women looking for? What brand, what style of bike, what style of clothes are they looking for? So they're really, really drilling down and finding out what women are looking for, what the average 46-year-old husband is looking for, and they're each individual customer profiles that they're marketing to separately. So what Harley have done is they've actually conducted focus groups, and they analysed their customers' opinions. They also emailed mailed 160,000 surveys. And this is because just they've got so many customers over the years. If you don't have 160,000 surveys, and let's be honest, most of our customers, most of us don't, you really just go back to the customers that you do have and ask their opinion of how they found your product or service. Ask them. I posted some questions there the other day in the Facebook group. Have a look at those. They're key questions in terms of what to ask your customers if you are doing some market research. So the idea is that, within Harley, anybody that owns a Harley, they think of it more than a machine. It's not just a machine, it's part of their self-expression and their lifestyle. So it becomes part of their whole life. So it's an expression of themselves. So it's nearly like a family member for all intents and purposes. So there's very strong emotions involved and motivations in buying a Harley Davidson and the specific Harley Davidson bike that they would buy. And this is where Harley Davidson are appealing to the emotions of people and, appealing to their self-expressive side. So they don't feel like they're buying an item, they feel like they're buying, they're making lifestyle choices, really. Also, Harley Davidson reflects freedom, like a call for freedom and comradeship. And again, this is going back to the Harley Owners Group. They literally, plan weekends away. You can become a member and you can join like-minded people. And that's really, really important aspect as well. And Harley Davidson, the company, really, really help with this. So we already covered in the webinar, and you may not have seen it or you might have forgotten it, but the 7 core customer types that they've worked out in Harley Davidson. The first one is adventure-loving traditionalists. Sensitive pragmatists, stylish status seekers, laid-back campers, classy capitalists. Number 6 is cool-headed loners, and number 7 is cocky misfits. So they're kind of an overarching view of the types of customers that they have, and each person will come under those core customer types in the broadest sense. Now they will have other customer types too, but broadly speaking, they're focusing on 7, and they're marketing to those 7 types of customers in an individual way. So the type of pictures they're using is going to be different, the type of copy that they're using on the advertisements is going to be different, and how they're interacting, engaging with each of these customer types is going to be different, purely from the point of view that the emotions and the expectations of each of these customer types is completely different. Okay, so just to try and understand that when you do start breaking down your customer types, that it's super important that you understand what drives people to buy from you. Are they the laid-back camper? Are they the stylish status seeker? And if they are, what drives them to be like that? And how does your product or service fit into their lifestyle? And how can you adapt your marketing to illustrate that your product or service can be part of their status seeking, a part of their being classy capitalists, a part of being a loner? So how does your product and service sit in the context of your customer? So again, here you can see the lady on the bike. Traditionally, this wouldn't have been part of that. So this is on their main website. Again, they're kind of advocating the fact that there's different membership types. Because they've got the woman there, straight away you're kind of intrigued. You can see that it does actually appeal to many, many different people. If you look at the actual website headings yourselves, you can see motorcycles, customization, so you can get a customized bike. You can learn to ride, so you can actually book to learn how to ride a Harley Davidson. You can try a bike if you want to, so if you're not sure, you can try. There's different events going on that you can find out about. There's a museum that you can go to as a family, and there's a community as well, and the owners group here then as well, and a shop. So they really, really have a broad sense of appealing to every aspect of owning a bike, and also to bring people through the sales funnel. So if you're not sure about buying one, you can try a bike, you can look at different events, you can join the members group, you can see the community, you can learn to ride, so you can kind of adapt easily into having a Harley Davidson bike. And it's not the hard sell, it's literally like a whole combined community that allows a person to kind of ease themselves into buying Harley Davidson if they so wish, or they can obviously jump right in. Now, if you look at this particular advertisement, it's really, really kind of a sexy and classic style picture that they've used. The signature black, which signifies really the whole ethos around Harley Davidson, in that it's an edgy, hardcore type of bike. And here they have a lady here again who looks, sexy. She is a lady. She is on her bike. But they're saying that it's a hot night on the town, never felt better. So they're giving the indication, should you have this bike, you're the hot lady on the town. They're giving the indication that, if you got any plans for the evening. So if you're kind of that cool person, this is the bike that you should have. So that would appeal to many, many types of women. Here's different bikes that you can buy. You can see that each of them has different colors. They're catering literally for those 7 different customer types that we saw earlier. Again, the black is a huge part of, the whole ethos, the whole branding around Harley Davidson. If you look at this particular bike, it's all about urban mobility. So a lot of people that would buy a bike, perhaps they're an urban dweller. So the traditional view of Harley Davidson is you're on the open road, whereas this particular bike is adapted to be within the city. So they're kind of using the copy in that, that you're always warned as kids about playing in the street, but they kind of liken it then, to where you're an animal kind of in the jungle type of an idea, and that this is a Revolution X bike, which you're talking about, one born to take on the traffic snarled urban jungle. So it's kind of like giving you that Tarzan effect. So it's really appealing to a specific type of male, I would say, in this regard, and the copy that they're using and the way they're describing this particular bike would really, really appeal to somebody that is into bikes and in the city, because it's adapted to their kind of home place, if you like. Blacked out front end, and again, this is all about the bikes itself in terms of what the different aspects of it, the engineering part of it, and how the quality is so important. But equally, they're saying that it's stripped down, raw and aggressive, and featuring plenty of black, and that's a very masculine sort of description. And again, they're appealing to a certain segment of their customers by writing the copy like that and the pictures that they're using to illustrate certain points. Here they're talking about premium paint. So again, really reinforcing the notion that they use really, really high quality products on Harley Davidson, and that you can expect when you buy Harley Davidson, or even if you buy an older Harley Davidson, that you will have a really, really good quality bike, that they even have premium paint on it. They don't stint on any aspect of it. And you can see here they're saying that one more reason you can take the fanatical pride in this particular bike. And so what they're trying to say is that they have fanatical pride in their products, and therefore as a person, if you buy one, you therefore have fanatical pride in yourself and in your bike should you buy one of their bikes. Again, here if you look at the website, you can customize the bike, learn to ride, try a bike, events, museum community, you can go to touring, you can go through all the different bikes itself. So it's quite a comprehensive website, in terms of finding out different elements of what it would be like to own a Harley Davidson if you weren't sure, or if you're more advanced, you can see the different events that are on as well. Then with the museum, you can see you can go to it. It's family activities, so they're making it very family orientated, which wouldn't be the traditional view of Harley Davidson, but they're trying to showcase that this is like a family event and that you can bring your families. There's group experiences, you can reserve space for the group. These are different dealerships or chapters that if you want to get really, really involved with Harley Davidson, and these are youth groups. So again, using that sales funnel where they're getting the youth involved early on, and of course throughout their lives, they're more likely to stay with Harley Davidson and to maybe upgrade as the years go on and to become really good lifetime customers. So I kind of jump off there, and tomorrow I will do another little video to speak more to you about Harley Davidson, but I just wanted to give a little overview of what they're doing, and maybe that would spark some ideas within you as to what you could do for your marketing for your business as well. So I'll post up some of the questions that you could ask your customers as well in terms of market research that they have done, and that you could do equally as well. So hope this helps. Let me know what you think. Thank you.